Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Greg Oates. I'm Director of AI Advocacy with Matador Network, which has created the GuideGeek AI chat platform for DMOs. We talk about agentic commerce and agents in general, and a lot of this is baked in what we've been doing for the last 2 years, working directly with DMOs every day. And then some of it's going to be a bit of conjecture too, with with everything happening so quickly, and a lot of what's been shown in the media I don't think is actually really working that well right now, and I'll explain that a little further as we go. So I'm going to share my screen here. So agentic commerce, chat is the new marketplace is sort of the theme here. Working with GuideGeek, we know that people are engaging with DMO websites and all kinds of different brands and all different industries really through a chat first experience. So instead of drop down menus and search, it's just so much quicker to access the information that you're looking for, but also much more personalized. We're working with about 50 different DMOs now where we have our GuideGeek chat, all different types of destinations from countries like New Zealand, cities, New York, smaller cities like Jasper towns and whatnot. And you see Wild China in the bottom right there. We just launched with our first tour operator, so excited about that. The ROI is clear. You see here with New Zealand driving 6 times more web interactions, also in 50 languages. That's on the leisure side. We also work with about half a dozen cities now where we've created meetings and conventions, GuideGeek AI. And again, the ROI is clear. So we're positioning this beyond the bot sort of thing, where it's really the sort of tip of the spear for agentic commerce and how we do business in the future, and how we're starting to do it now. But as we've been talking with DMOs, we've really started to look at it from an institutional, from an infrastructure standpoint, in terms of how DMOs are actually navigating AI strategy. And we've developed this with an advisory group of CEOs, the Matador DMO AI roadmap. And the focus here is really one on internal and 2 on external, and that every decision with AI should be seen through the lens of these. And there's a bit of a hierarchy here, really working with CEOs to talk about how they need to own AI strategy from a change management, governance, adoption standpoint. But then it's really, what are we actually talking about, much more so than just learning how to use ChatGPT and doing press releases and all of these things that are important, but not really on a high level strategic perspective. So as we've been working through this, we've really narrowed in on AI agents from the internal view, and then agentic commerce from the external view. And that's giving us direction. It's giving the teams direction moving forward to think more high level and then get into all the staff training. So we see where a lot of DMOs have integrated AI tools and processes, et cetera. But we want to put the big picture up front, which is why we're really focusing on AI agents and agentic commerce now. We've only been shopping this around for like the last couple months and presenting it. We're working with 3 DMOs presently and going through this process. But in the last 3 conferences I've been at, where I've gone into this, I've asked everyone, could anyone say what an agent is to the group? And it's usually like 2 to 3% of the group puts up their hands. So that's what I was going to go into a little bit today. We talk about AI agents, basically just automated workflows. Now they vary a lot, and there's people who will argue the difference between an automated workflow and a true agent, and there are differences, but what we're seeing in the industry is everyone is just referring to those as agents. And then agentic commerce is just integrating those agents into sales, marketing, and all other business development workflows. There tends to be, I think, this view that when we're talking about agentic commerce, we're talking about converting sales, but I think it's really more the entire path to purchase that we're seeing a lot of movement. Now I'm going to share an actual live demo of what an agent is. What you're looking at here is actually an agent. So let me share again. Okay, so we spent now the last maybe um, I don't know, 9 months to a year developing agents internally at Matador, and now we're developing them for DMOs. This is what they look like. This is one example built in N8N software. And this is the quickest and simplest example I could come up with for today because they take some time to run. This one takes about 40 to 50 seconds. Other ones we have take up to like an hour and a half. So I'm going to switch through a bunch of screens here. So the idea for this agent is to convert stories that have been saved, um, just web stories, and convert that into a blog post. And so I saved them in Notion just for this example. Here for stories, use Notion Web Clipper to save them in Notion. These are all on Agentic Commerce. And this one here, so these are the 4 stories in Notion. And then what I want to do is use the agent to write a blog post and then deposit it in this tab here, the See Already, which you see is empty. So going back to this, I'm going to execute the workflow. And now you see it going through the process. So the N8N software is going into that specific Notion folder. It's reading those 4 stories. It's pulling out all of the most important information, and that's what's taking a bit of time. And then it merges all of those, and then it goes into the content writer. And for the model that we're using for the content writer is Claude. I feel like Claude is better than ChatGPT when it comes to writing. There are instructions in that content writer. We call it an agent, although it's more an automated workflow, that are pretty specific about how we want the output to be. And this is why when it really comes valuable to know how to prompt well, because basically the instructions in an agent are prompts. Okay, you see it finished. And now when we come back to this page again, there it is. So it took 50 seconds about to convert those 4 web pages into a blog post like this or a newsletter. And it's only about 80%. We'd have to go in and do some more work on it, but it's been formatted just the way we want. So there's a new header for each of the 4 stories. The first paragraph sort of tells what the story is about. And then the second paragraph is designed to educate DMO leaders about the importance of agentic commerce. So that's an example of one agent. Now we have numerous others. So here is an example of one where we're working with our editorial team to develop new hotel stories. They, of course, get tons of press releases and they're finding information on their own, and that's all collected together. And it takes a lot of time to put those stories, new hotel stories or new whatever kind of stories, but their readers love them. They get a lot of views. And so by using this, we can speed up the process and the end result is actually better. This would be an example of a specific web post written mostly with N8N, and then our editors go in and vet everything and fine tune it. But it saves probably 50% of the time it takes to develop these stories, and the end result, they say, are better. We have many more that we've been building. This is something that our social team at Matador really likes. We have a team of 5, and this goes out and tracks 150 different creators across both Instagram and TikTok to capture what all of those influencers are doing. We're just starting at 150. We're going to blow that out a lot more. And then the social team once a week or twice a week gets an email from this agent showing what all the creators and influencers have posted on those 2 channels over that time frame so that they can stay on top of what everyone is doing, but also it makes it really easy to engage versus manually checking them all. Again, a huge time saver. Just one more. This is one for a CRM where the automation directs everything that's happened that week in terms of new prospects, closed deals, et cetera, but it sends emails and it stores updates for executives around the company to keep an eye on. So those are some examples of what an agent is. I think that helps before we really sort of talk too much about agentic commerce and AI agents, is just to actually see what they are. Okay, and I'll go back to sharing the deck. Okay. So let's get into agentic commerce a little bit. According to MasterCard, agentic commerce automates hyper-personalized customer experiences at the intersection of chat and shopping. I find that's a good working definition, but really the focus on hyper-personalized. And boy, is it in the media these days. You see where ChatGPT a little while ago created their agentic commerce protocol to buy, to purchase things in ChatGPT. Now, I've spent, I don't know how many hours trying to actually do that. And this morning I thought, well, it'd be really great if I could show that. I have yet to be able to pull up anything in Etsy or Shopify to buy in chat. Everything that I've found is still directs to the Etsy page. Those are the first two brands, and there's more to come. But clearly a big shift in the way that we're able to marry AI, LLMs, and purchase behavior. You see the Skiff story talked about what's happening now. So ChatGPT is embedded Expedia and Booking.com, and I want to show an example of that here in a second. But let me just first show this. It's a 25-second video that sort of defines where we're going with AI commerce.
AI is no longer just about getting answers to your questions. It's starting to do things for you. That shift from knowing to doing is a big deal. And I think one of the earliest places we're seeing it's going to change things is commerce. More people and more businesses are spending time inside AI tools. And with that, product discovery and browsing and now even buying are starting to happen in those tools.
Here's another example that was really an eye-opener, and this was just about a month ago, but going to purchase a subscription for a CRM and having to go wade through a bunch of different ones. I came upon HubSpot, and instead of watching a pre-recorded starter demo like you can with so many different tools, Fiona is an avatar chat, which I could speak with or text with. And it was really amazing because the takeaway was, at first it was like a little weird seeing her head bob, but after a few minutes, it really dawns on you that this is an amazing experience because it's totally personalized. There's no wasted time. Everything you get is valuable for what you're looking for. I had some dumb questions about CRMs. I asked those, we got through that. But a big difference in terms of the user experience versus, say, watching a demo reel or trying to get an appointment and waiting days to talk with someone, etc. And you see that the conversion rates are really proving that this is valuable. We're working with DMOs to develop these as well. It's still early days. There'll be a lot of the team that will look at these and think it's kind of weird and maybe it's awkward. But once you actually start talking with them and once you start seeing the conversion opportunities, then people get over that weirdness really quickly. We have one DMO that I was working with in destination. I'll just wrap up here a few days ago, and I showed her this, showed some of the early prototypes of what we're building. Her office is on the main street. It also acts as a visitor center. She walked me out to just inside the front doors. They have a big TV, and she says, "I want that on that TV," so that people can come up and talk to the avatar, whether the residents or visitors, and ask anything they want to know about both the destination and the office itself and what the organization can do. So I think this is where everything is going. I'm going to wrap up there. We're working, one of the teams we're working with for the AI roadmap is Visit Mesa, and we were talking about this yesterday, and they were a little unsure. Some people want to experiment, but one of the ideas that was brought up was, what if every influencer or staff or any staff member or any community partner had their avatar on the DMO website where you could come and learn about, say, sports tourism or food or attractions or just the general vibe. And there seems to be some interest in that. So I think within 6 months, we're going to see avatars on DMO websites where anyone can just engage and learn about the destination in a new way. So that's me. Thank you very much for joining.